Hello, dear friends, lovely audiences. Welcome to the show, Jack Chow on the East West with the GNE TV. Tax cut is a big issue for this past week and a half, especially beginning this week when it is signed. It is when it passes the Senate House, though, it sounds a done deal to the Americans.
Should be.
Yeah, and we're waiting for a signature. That's it.
Well, reconciliation process.
Reconciliation, process between the Senate and the House.
It'll take about 10 days.
It takes about 10 days. And then the signature, and then the law.
Right.
All right.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. With my friend, Mr. Ken Hemming, political commentator for On Top, and I know him not only for that, we go back for many, many, many years. And only with him, this is the 175th show.
It's a celebration show.
Celebration. Together for the past 5 years, though, I must have done with different guests, though, no less than 1,500 shows.
I'm sure, yes.
Right?
Right.
Yes. And with Cam, I have done 175. You will just imagine how many shows I have done so far.
And how honored I am to be with your viewers, EDI and GNE TV. This is a dream.
Ken is a great man, is a great individual. For that kind of human being, I respect, because he has a heart, he has his own philosophy, he is quote-unquote constitutional.
Yes.
When I say quote-unquote, I'm not saying he's a so-called constitutional. His own quote, I'm constitutional, like that kind of thing, right? And he is a board member of PCC Foundation, and he is himself, for life, a CPA.
Yes, proud.
And he is making still, after retirement, making much more, about 3-4 times more than I do.
Yeah, I doubt
that. Good job, a good profession, anyway.
But I still get to work and I get to be with you. Hallelujah.
All right, good. So with all that, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here with you, Jack. You know I love you. You're my brother.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to say a few words about the fire.
Yes.
The wildfires are really getting to some extent that we really have to say something. First, we would want to recognize our firefighters.
Unbelievable.
Not only firefighters of different cities and others in Southern California, but from Northern California,
right?
There came along a big help.
Well, there was great devastation up there. So many homes lost, and 44 lives were lost up in Northern California.
This morning would clarify that not all the lives were lost in the fire. Some were lost due to the related traffic accident.
Right. There's one up in Southern California.
Indirect.
Rolled off the street.
As for direct casualties, there's so far no report of somebody, whoever, burned to death in the fire.
Right.
So far. That's the quote-unquote good part.
That's the good part.
It's bad enough, but still, there's something,
But when you lose your house and all you have is dirt, it's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Sad.
It can be rebuilt.
Right.
And you have insurance. The insurance will cover.
Well, but not completely. It's never completely.
Of course, never.
It's a tragedy.
Yeah, you're talking about if you have a grandma clock,
right,
and it's burned,
right.
Who the hell is going to pay that for it?
Nobody.
Right? There's nobody. There's a money list.
What's priceless to me is also priceless, to the insurance company sometime. I think, hey, this was everything.
And we would like to give our firefighters a very, very, very high credit.
Yeah.
Because it is them who run their lives in the line for the protection.
They're working about 18 hours a day. They get to sleep. They're tired. The more tired you get, the more susceptible you are to maybe making a mistake and getting hurt.
They are so
They're
tired.
Heroes.
They are so tired they fall asleep while eating.
They do.
Yeah.
Right.
So they deserve the biggest respect.
Yeah.
Okay, I salute to them.
Very
very
hard.
And also our hearts goes to those who have lost their houses,
right,
homes, land, or so on and so forth. Even though it will resume, it takes time. The hardship is there, the hardship is very obvious.
It's very obvious.
Yeah. At yesterday's event, some officials that I invited who has confirmed their RSVP couldn't make it due to the fire.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Some of them were blocked to the west side.
Wow. Yeah, yeah.
With no traffic, zero traffic at all.
Right. On 405, it was.
Yeah, 405, they
Yeah.
cannot get out,
Yeah,
right?
right.
And some,
Good point.
some who, even though lived in the east side, they have to go to the west to see their relatives who are out there in hotel rooms
Right.
to be dispersed.
Right.
So some of my friends, elected official friends, had to go do that. So that's why you don't see a full table that I arranged for them yesterday at the event.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
And to everyone who has been working with the subject, around the subject of the fire, and directly or indirectly, and we show our concern. We want to get in. We want to be part of it.
Well, and let me just share, like with the hurricanes in Texas and Florida, you know, we talk about them, we feel horrible about them, but they're distant. These are close, and my brother and sister live in the city of Ojai and are just ready to evacuate any second. They've got a lovely property, and they haven't been ordered to evacuate yet, but they're packed.
Yeah, according to the report, though, so far, the highest containment is 30%.
Wow. Yeah.
Of one fire, the Silmarwar fire, I believe.
Yeah.
Others within the range of 10 to 20.
Yeah, that's not much.
Yeah, that's
for,
not much.
for containment.
Not
yeah.
much, yeah. For containment, it takes about 1 week, whole week to talk about. Anyway.
In the winds,
Yeah,
winds
in the
can't
wind.
be
The wind is,
overstated.
Disgusting wind. It's crazy. Yeah.
You
It's
can't beat the wind.
Only worsens the situation.
Much worse.
Right.
Yeah.
And thirdly, we want to mention the fact that EDI, as of yesterday, had a very big appreciation party.
It was phenomenal.
Appreciation extended to those who had been with us, including my dear friend Ken Hemming. He was at one of the VIP tables. You yourself.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So your impression about the event yesterday, please?
It was spectacular. There were about maybe 250 to 300 people. People dressed very nicely, looking all very sharp. Some nice entertainment. Some nice. A lot of nice speeches and commentators comments, mostly in Chinese, so I didn't quite get it all. But I'm getting
But there are
close.
translations provided.
Sometimes.
Not the whole thing.
It was a very good lunch, and everybody was smiling, and everybody was friendly to each other, and everybody was there to celebrate the joy of being associated with EDI and GNE and the growth.
How did you enjoy the moment that you were on stage?
I like it. The thing that's interesting, because there's a lot of people out there, the lights are so bright you can't even see them, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's a challenge. I don't know how you guys do it
Yeah.
professionally,
And
but
I
you
have
do
this
it well.
friend, Coco. Coco, you know Coco,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Coco wrote to me, he said,
like
it
her.
was the first time for me to get on stage with that many lighting, though.
Right.
I can see nothing.
Right. It's just right in your face.
Right
it's
in
hard.
your face. But everybody can see you, right?
Yeah.
Everybody can see you, yeah. And, well, even though we had only a little, something like 20%, 25% of my guests on the show.
Okay, yeah, right,
Yeah.
right, sure.
Because others couldn't make it.
Right.
Because it's the Christmas season.
Yeah.
Right. So
You have
with,
so many guests.
And with those of you guys, I kind of feel very proud of you, and to report to the community what we have done.
Yeah.
Especially when you sum it up that you have been with me for many, many shows. Right?
Love everyone.
All right.
Everyone.
Everybody likes it, right?
Yeah, it was a glorious event, and
It's a tradition at EDI and the GNE TV that we keep annually and an appreciation party.
Yes.
A time in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, we always do that. We gather people who have been with us, who have been part of EDI. I mean, we always
integral.
celebrate.
Yeah.
Right, good for everything.
and all your employees, most of your employees were up there, and your MCs were very fine and excellent.
Did you like the introduction I made about you guys?
I don't know what you said, but I presume it was okay.
You were too excited
I was too
to
excited.
remember
yeah.
anything, right? I said, without you guys, the show wouldn't be possible.
That's true.
And I ask everybody the distance between East and
Yes, right.
and
You
West.
did.
Remember that
yes,
part?
right. That was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
And the answer is
Same
it
as-
is same as your left and right hand.
yeah, right.
So it is my job. I take it as if it is incumbent on me, upon me, to bring them together, East and West,
Right.
left and right,
Right.
together.
And most of the people that were, your other show people that were there, I knew almost all of them because we all kind of keep bumping into each other.
It was proven true that by putting East, West, left, and right together, you make yourself a bigger self.
It's a blend. It's a
Yeah,
beautiful blend.
The bigger self.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, you do when in terms of doing public media, you need the public to be a
Yes.
public media.
Right,
Right.
that's right.
If nobody likes you, if nobody listens, nobody watches,
Right.
what do? You're doing nothing.
Yeah, you do nothing.
You're doing nothing.
You have a lonely
right?
desk.
Yeah. Okay. We once again, I, Jack Xiao here, on behalf of my crew at the East West Show, and together on behalf of EDI, the whole team of EDI, GNE TV, and GNE Radio,
Yeah.
we once again express our profound, heartfelt appreciation to every one of you who has been with us for the past year.
And we wish we could have every viewer of yours, Jack, at that event.
All right,
because
very
we
good.
appreciate them
Yeah.
as much as more than we appreciate each other.
Thank you very much. All right, let's take a very short moment now. When we come back, we pick up the tax cut, which is our topic today. Cut. We want to know from a professional what exactly it functions, what does it do to the Americans. Stay with us, please. Hello, dear friends, lovely audiences, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. The East-West Show covers all range, the full range, left, right, top, bottom, everything, everywhere you mentioned about. Tax, and death, they are the inevitables.
That's right.
The only, right? So we take it as much like that.
Yeah.
So we have no problem with the tax, but it's how much is the issue. It's been a long time people are talking about taxing reform or whatever. When it comes to Donald Trump time, it turns into a tax cut. Right? How to do the cut, from where, and how much to cut out, those are the questions. And also, of course, at the end, what does it do to the American people? We today have my friend, Ken Hemming, who is a CPA for life. That's his own backyard,
Yes.
his expertise,
Right.
to talk about it. So, first of all, what was the status quo, or what is the status quo before the tax cut? Now we're not talking about actually exercising it,
Right.
and it's still we are under the status quo now.
We are.
What is the tax status quo, please?
Yeah, well, the last time we really had a major revision in tax rates was under Ronald Reagan, President Reagan. And
The early 80s.
yeah, in the mid 80s. And of course it was controversial at that time too. But the result of that, and it was actually much more dramatic tax cut than this current one that's coming through, okay? Because the population of America is just a bit different and the sentiments are a bit different. But so, you know, it's the tax code, 27,000 pages or whatever, very complicated. That's why you need all these intelligent CPAs to try to figure out how to do it. And you could give the same set of facts for a family, Jack, to 3 different CPAs to prepare the tax return. It'd probably come out with 3 different answers because it's complicated.
Yes,
it's
yeah,
not
you're
easy,
right.
Okay, and so there's nobody that's a genius enough to just know everything. But so this, there's a House version and there's a Senate version. The Senate version is a little less of a
The
reduction.
status quo
Yeah. Right now-
before the cut.
Right. Well, and the thing is, we still don't know when this will be because for 2017, everybody will be preparing their returns in the same status quo of the current code. In 2018, the House wants these reductions to be impacted in 2018, the Senate in 2019. I don't want to wait another year, and I don't think most people do, so I'm hoping very much that it'll be impacted in 2018, primarily in corporate tax is the biggest reduction. But one of the big deals, and we've talked about this one time before, I want to know what you guys think. It's going to be like 47% of our people pay zero taxes. Now, there's payroll taxes and things like that. But with these deductions, it might go to 50 over or a little bit over 50%. Now, I always say, Jack, and sometimes you disagree with me, which is fine, that everybody should have some skin in the game. Some
Over
people are talking
50%
about
paying
this.
nothing?
After this, it would be a 50% or a little over. Right now, it's 47%. Pay nothing. And I think, we all should have an obligation.
After this cut,
It'll
there's
be
going to be
50%.
more than 50%?
50, 51, something like that.
50%,
Paying
50-50.
nothing. Right. Because
paying
of all
nothing.
of these, all the reductions, the child credits, just so many things, okay?
In other words, that there's a 3% of a sacrifice.
Right, yeah. Additional 3% will pay nothing.
Yeah,
And that's-
additional 3%.
Yeah. Now, I want everybody to pay something. I mean, I think we should have at least $50 or $100 minimum, okay? But because you've got to participate. We've got this government that is too big, okay? Hopefully this will force a shrinkage in our government. And that's what we're hoping also in states like California and New York, that they just tax you willy-nilly all the time. And if we take away the ability to deduct state income tax, which is what they're planning in both of
Remember
these.
last time when you were here,
Yeah.
you and I were talking about tax cut.
Yes.
We agreed that we will find out some numbers
Right.
to indicate the U.S. The American tax revenue
Yeah.
for before and after. We still don't have those numbers?
Well, we don't have a tax bill yet. So there's some big differences between the House and the Senate proposals. And right now they're going through the reconciliation process where they try to, or at least they say, they try to pick out the best of both things and merge them together. Sometimes they pick out the worst of both things too. So they're not perfect in their reconciliation. Then when you've got the Senate and the House that have reconciled, then they can draft the bill and send it to President Trump.
To simplify the question,
Yeah.
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 Between the before and after,
Yeah.
is the United States as a whole, as a nation,
Yeah.
getting more revenue or less?
Well, there's no answer to that for this reason. If it stimulates the economy, which we believe it will, then there will be more revenue, a lot more revenue.
With the status quo,
Well,
with the current level, at this current level, if it is applied on, are we, as a nation, getting more money
well,
or less?
I believe we will get. It's impossible to say because it all depends on the viability and vitality of the economy. We had 228,000 new jobs created in November. Just came out this morning, okay? Now that's new jobs where people then are making money and they're going to be paying taxes on
Just
that.
stay where we are. Suppose there's zero economy growth.
Okay, yeah, and there's no, and say there's no tax thing. Well, the government, all it wants to do is grow, 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 and take your money and
Yeah,
spend
I
it
know. And then just
inefficiently.
assume they have no economy growth.
Right.
And to base upon on that, let's talk about if we have more revenue income for the nation or less.
Well,
do we have any idea about those?
There's some ideas. They say that if there was no growth or something, in 10 years, our national debt would go up $1.7 trillion because we'd have to borrow more because of less revenue. However, under President Obama, it went up $10 trillion in 8 years.
In other words,
So it
we
was
want to
1.7,
confirm.
yeah.
We want to confirm with the tax cut, the United States as a nation gets less income revenue. Am I right?
It's possible. But it's not going to happen that way. It will not happen that way. I will put my life on it. It will not happen that way.
No.
Because when we go from 35% to 20 or 22% for corporate taxes, the price earnings ratios for all these companies will go up. The stock market valuations go up as a result of the performance of the corporation.
From 35 to 20,
they'll have more money to hire employees
from 35
and
to
give
20,
raises.
From 35 to 20, you're talking about 15% of deduction, right?
Yeah, that's the biggest impact of everything.
To secure the United States as a nation remains on the same level, you have somewhere to make up the 15% lost.
You know what? I disagree because of this. Our government is too big, it's too fat. The 5 highest zip codes for average household income all are right around Washington, D.C., mostly government employees. There are corporations too, but we have too big a government. We are trying to shrink it. And I just hope it's ridiculous. We cannot afford the incredible retirement programs for government employees. It's outrageous.
Then you're talking about
we need less
more
people.
income, more income and revenue. Income revenue is needed.
Look, when the economy, Jack, does kind of poorly and people aren't getting raises, which they're not, or they're getting fired, or they're getting pay cuts. The people in government, they get pay raises every year, 2% or something like that. You know, it's so, you want to talk about inequality.
Yeah. Let's stay on the overall picture.
Okay.
I'm still trying to sketch an overall picture. Number one, to my question, it seems that you did not have an answer. You do not have an answer.
It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
Because you have no idea about this country as a nation, United States,
I don't.
Getting more income revenue with a tax cut or before or after.
I do have an idea, I do have an opinion, and I believe we will end up with more revenue, more tax revenue, but at a lower rate per human being, per capita, because there will be a vibrant economy. Right now, we're all the way up, even with all these hurricanes that cost us trillions.
In other words,
we're at 3.3%.
In other words, there's no
growth.
Calculation or statistics or numbers to talk about, except that you have the confidence.
Well, I think we'll hit 4% growth in gross national product next year. We're at 3.3 now, which could have been 3.5 if we didn't have all these hurricanes that have been just tragedies, okay? We're growing. And so much of the growth that happening right now in our economy is because people have hope again, that their income stream will increase because we'll have a better economy again and there'll be more jobs. We're down to 4.1 unemployment. It was 8% or something, you know, 8, 6, 7 years ago.
Okay, all right.
So it's wonderful what's happening.
I'll take that for time being. Let's take a very short moment out. When we come back, we'll continue finding. It looks that a lot of questions still needs to be answered. Stay with us, please. Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show. Jack Chow with my friend Ken Hemming, a CPA for life, talking about his expertise, the tax. In the tax issue, we're talking about the tax cut. Right now we have a House version and we have a Senate version.
Yes.
Both have passed. They're doing the consolidation.
Yep.
Reconciliation now, trying to combine the two to take the best out of each everything.
We hope,
right?
Yeah.
Then there goes the signature. Then there goes the law. Right?
Yes. And there goes the economy. We hope.
Yeah. All right.
Because we're already on fire.
I was asking my friend Ken Hemming, United States of America as a nation, does it get more revenue or income or less before and after?
But also
there seems to be no answer.
Well, there's no known calculable answer right now. But let me say, one disappointing thing here, it doesn't talk about reducing the size of government. So all people want to do is, and not all people, is make the government bigger, 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 make your individual liberty less, 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 okay? So we need to cut government, and then you don't need so much money. And I will tell you from my heart and my knowledge, the government is very inefficient in so many ways. Inefficient.
Well, it may not necessarily be the case. With the fire, we just saw how the government performs. The government did do a good job, and they are still doing a good job. Well, for that, we'll say it's not a big or small talk about. We're talking about government efficiencies.
I'm talking about federal employees.
As it's the same thing.
Federal employees.
And when the federal is big, the state is big too.
The firefighters.
Don't you think California as a government is big also? Is too fat?
This is the worst state in America.
Yeah. Okay.
In my opinion.
Right. Now
for government and taxes.
My problem is that I do not see why I should support it. Because number one, we can't define if we're getting more or less as a nation from tax, as income revenue, right? And number two, we do not want the fact that it used to be 47% folks who does not pay any tax, and with the cut and after cut, it goes even higher, which is 50%, with 3% more added.
Right.
Now, if, for example, if the total number of Americans that should pay tax together, X equals to, make it X equals to the then total population, right?
Yep.
Total population. And then we want a number to be bigger than the number before. How can we make it before with 3% increase on the non-paying residents?
Yeah. And let me ask this, why do we want it bigger? Why do we want that number of funds available for government bigger? I want it smaller. And then the government has to shrink because they can't just keep printing paper.
Okay.
So I think it's a healthy philosophy.
I see where you are.
I think it's a healthy philosophy.
So you're saying that with the limited money, here's the money.
Yeah,
which is a shrunk.
So then you've got to form the government.
And then form a government or reform a government accordingly.
Within that limits. Just like you live your personal life.
Good. That will go back to confirm my first question. Yeah. That after the tax cut, the United States as a nation will get less, right?
Well, I believe it will
get.
Which
is a fact, which we have already touched.
But it's not a fact if the economy grows, Jack. Then there'll be more.
Oh, come on, Ken.
Well, it's
true.
Said
5 times already.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Assume there's no growth, zero growth.
Okay.
Just stay where we are with the cut down money.
Then we should get less revenue.
We should get less. Yet, when we are asking our folks not to worry because you have a shrunk budget, shrunk revenue, and then you reform your government accordingly.
There's so many federal employees that retire every day, okay? Just don't replace them for a while until it's a smaller number of bodies. They can get easily 10, 15% more work done in a day than they do if they have a little bit more performance pressure. That's my very, very sincere opinion, and it could be worthless, but it's what I believe.
That I agree. That between you and I, there's no conflict, all right? And that doesn't necessarily say that I go against the tax cut.
Right.
I only want to find out how much are being cut off, right? With the remainders, are we still better off? You're saying if the government gets shrunk, right? You reshape the government, side of the government.
Well, and also
things will work out.
And also, if we do get this repatriation where there's I don't know, $2.5 to $4 trillion overseas, that if the corporations bring it back now, you're paying 35% of it, so they don't bring it back. They just keep using it over there. If you reduce it, they talk about 10% to bring it in, maybe even 5%, then that money will come back in. That will, just the taxes on that will be quite a bit of money. And also then that money is reinvested in either, say the pessimists say, oh, they'll just buy more company stock back.
That exactly leads to the second discussion,
Yes,
second
sir.
question. How the tax cut plans, regardless of House version or Senate version, encourages people from abroad
Yes.
who have already gone abroad
That's
to
right.
come back home.
Right, and that's the whole.
How does it work that
right
way?
now we've got a 35% corporate tax rate, and if we move it to 20, like you said, that's a 15% reduction. The average on planet Earth of corporate taxes is 22%. So we would be then right in the middle, and we would be competitive with the planet. And a lot of people would like to live in America and stay in America, but when it costs you so much money here and you can go make more money somewhere else with a decent lifestyle, a lot of companies have left our borders. But a lot are coming back. They're already starting to come back, unless I believe we'll be leaving if we get this to a nice 20 or 22%.
In other words,
corporate
they
tax rate.
left at the time with 35.
Yes, sir, right.
And now you're talking about 20.
Yeah.
They say, let's go home.
We
Something
believe
like that.
we believe that will happen, and also more startups will start up in America, and we're getting some other countries now investing more in America because the tax rate will be more doable.
Okay. I know this tax law was signed into law, tax bill was signed into laws. It won't go in effect
Right.
until 2019
Or 18,
when
one or the other.
When it is time
Yeah.
to file your return for 2018. Am I right?
But the House wants 2018 that the new tax law will be effective for 2018. I think it should be retroactive to 2017, and that's what they originally talked about. And then I don't know if they chickened out or it wasn't possible for different reasons. I don't know. But it should be at least 18, and 19 just is wasting another year with an egregious tax law.
Have you had any number or a rough number, kind of a statistics talking about how many of a business who were scared away, frightened to go away outside of the United States, and how many of them by percentage, or even you can even size it by the dollar amount, will come back?
I personally cannot do that. Some companies, they've gone to Ireland because it's a 12% rate over there. Why not? So now, and then I hope we see more Chinese investment in America. That's also very possible because obviously there's a lot of people that need jobs in China too. And they've got a growing middle class, which is exciting. I want to be a middle class all around the world. Our middle class has been shrinking too. We got to rebuild because middle class is what most Americans and most people are all around the world. There's a poverty level. There'll always be some gross poverty, and there'll always be some rich people.
I understand that between the House version and the Senate version, there is a year difference.
Yes.
Is it 2018 or 2019?
Yes, sir.
If they started 2018, though, does that mean that your income of 2017 is going to be returned, going to be filed, a tax return in 2018 or a year later?
Yeah, it'd be a year later, where you would benefit from the reduction in the rates.
In other words,
it'd be a
when
year
they
later.
say 2018, they say when it comes to time to report 2018 income.
Yeah, it will be under the new tax law if it's
that will
effective 2018.
That'll be the beginning of 2019.
See, right now, when I do my tax return for 2017, it will be exactly the same process as 2016. But then if the law is effective 2018, it'll be a whole new, I don't really understand how you can do it all on a postcard, which they're saying most people will be able to do. So that's fine. If that works, that's great. Because there's so many accountants that prepare these tax returns that cost, costs money to prepare a tax return, and with people that aren't making so much money, it's really quite a bit. It's probably all the Christmas presents you can spend for your family. So it's expensive. It shouldn't be a burden.
What is the difference between the Senate version and the House version in this regard, about the year starting?
Well, the Senate wants 2019, the House 2018. I'm hoping, praying for 2018, and I think most Americans are.
The House is about 2018,
Yeah.
and you support 2018.
The sooner the better. It's that simple.
The sooner the better.
Sooner the better. For you, your viewers, and for me.
All right, good. So now, and then when they talk about the brackets, instead of the many, many brackets, it comes down to 3 or 4 brackets, right?
Well, yes and no, because there's still 7 brackets under, let's see, 1, 2, yeah. There's 7 brackets on the Senate, and there's 4 on the House bill. We don't need 7 brackets. Now, one of the big things that's big controversy now is one wants to keep the highest individual tax rate at 39.6, the other to bring it to 38.5. But you know what? That's a very nominal reduction. And now they're talking about, well, why don't we bring the individual highest rate to 35%? I don't think people, just because they're successful, should not have a benefit from this, because they create the jobs and they spend money. That's pretty good.
I understand.
So and the Reagan one, back in the 80s, it dropped it very large, also for the wealthy and for the poor. Because you contribute to the vitality of the country with spending money and keeping money, and we keep it, okay? So, Jack, that's really...
Understand.
Yeah.
But the thing is that when you put all these numbers together, you'll find the nation on one hand that making less money, and then you find a nation got more burden to carry. Those are the people who do not pay tax.
Yeah.
And then you have a Social Security to talk about, which is on the dying bed already.
Right. Well, they need to move the age up 2 to 4 years, because people are just living so long now. We can't afford it.
You want to call the business who are outside already, and call them to come back home.
Yes.
Right? What if those doesn't happen?
Well, then
because you do not have that kind of encouragement to make them come back. Well,
I think the great vitality of the economy will be with people that are already living here. It's like frosting on a cake when you get companies to come back, which helps a lot, okay? But still, the people that are currently here and performing and making a living, as long our unemployment rate is low and wages rise, that's perfect. And that's will happen with people living here.
Case.
Yeah.
My dear friends, with my friend Ken Hamming today, we're talking about tax cut. It looks that not bad, at least something better than I thought, because I may check with him how much I'm paying.
Yeah, but we can do your return
right?
before and after.
So let's take a short moment out. When we come back, we'll continue. Stay with us, please. Hello, dear friends, lovely audiences. Welcome back to the East-West Show, Jack Chow, with the GNE TV. Today we're talking about our tax cut. It's a big issue. It's an issue we've been talking about for a long time, thanks to the hard work for representatives both at House and the Senate, and also thanks to the fact that the opponents working so hard to press it. So in the system of democracy, it is such that the more pressure, the better the output, right?
Absolutely.
So you really welcome the pressure that presses you to make a better outcome. That's it, right? That's what we call checks and balance in one way or the other.
Right.
Right. Very good. With me today is my good friend Ken Hamming. He's a tax specialist talking about tax cut. We touched the overall, we touched about the abroad, the business that went abroad, how to make them come back. Now, I want to check with my friend Ken Hamming, a CPA for life. To individuals,
Yes.
such as the average Joe.
Yes, which
Right.
is what we are.
So are they paying more or less before and after?
Well, I believe the intent, there's always aberrations, there's always exceptions. The intent is that every taxpayer will have a little lower amount to pay. That's the intent. Something can happen weird where it doesn't work exactly that way for everybody. But the whole intent in this, so like I say, there are always aberrations, times where somebody for same circumstances will pay a little bit more. But the House and Senate version are very clearly intending that everybody, particularly if we get from 39.6% down to 35%, then everybody will have a benefit. But there's always exceptions.
Somebody say that you have your first 15,000 tax exempted.
24,000.
24,000?
Yeah, the first 24,000, because it's a deduction, exemption, is you pay nothing. And you know, a lot of people aren't making much more than 24,000, which is almost impossible to live on.
Somebody says 15,000 exempted, and the rest of the income goes with the tax.
Well-
So is that so what?
Well, I think it's really the first 24,000 you'll pay nothing on.
24.
Right. But then what happens, say you make 40, there are so many, and you got 3 kids or something, there are so many child care deductions and other sort of becoming
Yeah,
entitlements.
let's fake a family. Okay, now
Yeah.
this family makes let's say twice of 24.
Yeah, 50,000, say
Yeah,
50.
50. Let's say 50.
Right.
With one kid,
Yeah,
with a housewife,
right.
because she has to take care of the baby.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Right.
You hire a babysitter.
Right.
You pay them. You go to work.
Yeah.
With the money, you pay the babysitter. Same thing.
Right.
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 Or you'd rather stay home.
No, that's right.
Just
'cause
babysitting.
For example, my daughter's very well educated, a master's degree,
yeah.
but it's
She babysits.
well, she's got 3 kids, so she's staying home because that's a higher
See,
and
that's
best
it.
use. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Makes sense. Right.
Right.
Okay. Now we assume that the husband, the only breadwinner,
Yeah.
makes like 50 grand on an annual basis.
Right.
For a family with one wife and one kid.
Right.
One kid. Okay.
Right.
Now, you're talking about 24,000 exempted.
But here's a very logical statement. If we're at 47 or 50% of people that really are not paying any federal income taxes, almost all of the people making 50,000 will be in that category of not paying any taxes because of other child deductions
Oh,
and that.
I see.
So they won't be. Up to 50 grand is very, very reasonable that they really won't have a tax.
In other words,
obligation.
they fall
Yeah.
to the 3% increase
Right.
of the non-tax paying folks.
See, 50,000, we both know it's a fair amount of money, but it's not a huge amount of money. And so when you've got to feed a wife and 2 kids, for example, it's very hard to survive on 50,000 income.
Of course.
And
Of
so
course.
it really,
If
they
it
really
has
can't
to be,
afford. Yeah.
if it has to be my money
Yeah.
to make the government overweight,
Yeah.
I would rather cut myself off, well, to slim.
Right.
The government.
And so most families that are making 50,000, whether it's a husband and wife or just one, really won't be paying any taxes.
I see. Okay.
Or so
in
de
the family,
minimis.
still using the model of the family, right? The wife suddenly is offered a job, good job.
Yes, sir.
She makes another 35.
Right.
For example.
Right.
And then she could afford the babysitter.
Right.
For the money. And then now, with a family with 85 as a total, with still one baby.
Yeah.
So what kind of situation are they facing?
Well, you'll probably have, you have withholding from your income that is being made, withholding. So an overwhelming group of people in that scenario will have enough withheld that they'll have no additional thing to pay at the end of the year and probably will be getting a refund. Now, also, there's going to be some changes, which I have no idea what they are, in what's being withheld, what percent's being withheld, because when projections show that so many will be paying nothing, there'll be almost close to nothing being withheld, federal income tax, okay? State will be, because California, you still got to pay.
Oh yeah, okay, very good, very good. I like that. I believe if that happens to be true, this is going to be supported by a majority of Americans.
You know, and this is what I don't understand. The Democrats, we haven't got one vote. It's good for the people. The Democrats and Republicans, we work for the people. They work for the people of America. Why do they not support this tax reduction that helps the common people of America?
Back to the old
I don't
issue.
get it.
Back to the old issue. The argument between bigger government or less government, smaller government,
Right.
makes nothing sense. Makes no sense at all if you do not come from the very, very bottom, which is the money bottom.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So now, from that bottom, okay, here's the money, here's how much we have. Okay, you
Right.
tell me.
Right.
You tell
You've
me.
got to
this-
balance the budget.
Yeah,
We
you've got to
never
balance the
do.
budget. You tell me. Okay, now put it this
We
way.
don't balance our budget.
And here's the
That's
bottom.
insane.
Here's the bottom line.
Yeah.
XYZ of dollars.
Yeah.
Amount of dollars, and then we are the roof of our debt.
Yes.
Right.
Right. Well,
And
we're over the roof.
Yeah, we're kind of like this.
Yeah.
Okay, with the range, and from the left there is no aid coming. From the right there is no aid coming. Nobody's going to help us. Nobody is capable of helping the U.S. with the money
That's right.
except
Nobody.
loan.
Except us.
And for
The
loan,
loans,
we're
right.
on top already.
Right. We already
so
know
now,
China,
Here
trillions.
is yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Here is the money. You tell me the size of the government.
The budget should be balanced.
So
You
that is the
balance
only
your
way-
budget. I balance mine
That
at
is
home.
the only way it makes sense.
Right. You're
Right.
right.
For example,
only makes sense.
exactly the same thing. You judge your lifestyle.
Yes,
You
sir.
tune or fine tune your lifestyle
Yeah.
depending on based upon your income. The same thing.
Yeah. Exactly right.
Yeah.
No, if I've got
Same
extra
thing.
money, I'll go out 2 more times for dinner,
Yeah.
And if I don't have it, I can cook at home.
Same thing.
No big
Same-
deal. The
same
government
thing.
doesn't do it though.
Yeah, that's why I'm not
They're not
inviting you to
controlled.
lunch.
That's true.
Yeah, because I don't make that kind of money.
Yeah,
Right?
I hear ya.
Very good. Now, for that, are we still keeping those previous benefit of kids attached to parents at a certain age? Remember when we were talking about health insurance,
Right.
we attached the kids to the family.
Oh, up to 26 now.
After 26.
Right.
So in way of tax, though, do you have that attachment thing?
I think it's the same. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not speaking from authority, but I think it's the same. Right now, it's the same. And I
Same
think
of what?
Up to 26. You
After
can say-
26.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Well, it's also that makes you lazy from 22 to 26. I think you
And
get out
how
of college.
does it work to the rich, to the top rich?
Same thing.
Are they paying more or are they paying less?
Well, overall, right now they'd be paying about the same, maybe even more. But if we get it down from 39 to even 38.5 or to 35%, they should have more money then to reinvest in their lifestyle, in the economy, and their
In other
children.
words, they are paying less.
They will be, and they should be, because they're paying the top 10% pay like 80% of all the
Altogether,
taxes.
I'm still thinking about with the cut, with the extra 3% and not paying tax, though everything. United States is getting less tax revenue money,
Well, I'd really like to have less tax revenue money to have a smaller government.
which is
We're
not
just
bad.
too big. Yeah, which is not bad.
Okay, all
In
right,
my
very
opinion.
good.
Yeah,
And we have an expanding military.
and we need it.
We have a broken education. We have
Devastating.
immigration reform.
Which we need.
We have lots of people to be deported, and we have infrastructure to be
Infrastructure's huge.
to be
Right.
to be enhanced.
Right.
We need money everywhere.
We do.
Yeah, how do you see that the government will balance themselves with a shrunken body, less money, and more to do?
With more intelligent priorities. So you set your priorities, and then you go after those that are truly significant priorities. In some of the other government programs, might just maybe disappear. Maybe some of the government
Good, right?
agencies. We don't need them. We don't need a Department of Education in the federal government because in my opinion, education is a local issue. State and individual cities should be funding their.
As a CPA, how do you see pension and the pension plans?
Well, we do have to extend right now you become eligible for Social Security, maybe 62, at a reduced amount, 65 or 66. And we need to move it at least 2 years farther, because people are working, they're healthy, they can work longer.
Right now it's 66, right?
Well, right now it's 66, but you can start getting money at 62, but a lower amount. And then you can also wait till 70,
Can you
then you get
declare
more.
retired? Can you declare retired and still work?
Oh, sure. Sure.
So how do you want to do it?
I get Social Security right now, but also I'm out doing some consulting and making money. Well, I'm paying taxes on the money I make as a consultant, and I'm also paying taxes on the Social Security. Like,
oh, in other words, you were declared retired.
Yeah.
You are getting money from Social Security.
You know, you're not declared retired. You're declared eligible for Social Security. You
eligible for Social Security.
Right. And you could still
work. Get, for example, you get.
Yeah.
I know in your case, maybe $5,000.
No, I get $2,200 a month.
Okay.
Okay.
$2,200 a month. For the $2,200 from Social Security, how much you're paying tax?
Well, I think about 70% of it is taxable, and so then so that'd be like $1,400, $1,500, and then whatever my tax rate is, say I'm at a 30% tax rate. I'd be paying, $800, $900 a month.
All right. And then you're still getting yourself something like $1,500 or $1,600 yourself, net money.
Well,
net money.
I hope so, yeah.
Net money, right?
Right.
And then you're working for your working.
Right.
The part that you're working for,
are
you still getting the same amount of tax rate?
Probably the same. No, well, Social Security is just how much is taxable. But so, like, whatever my taxable amount of Social Security plus everything's taxable in my consulting, you add them together, and you pay tax at the same rate. You pay tax.
In other words, you get 26, for example, right?
All
right. And then at the job, you get 7,000, for example, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now. That's
9,000 or 9,600.
Okay, make it 10.
Yeah, make it 10. Right.
Make it.
And that'll all be at one particular rate. Yeah.
And then altogether, this is the Social Security. This is the work. Right. Altogether, you don't have to divide them. You put them all together.
Yeah, they all
the same rate. Say you're 39.
Right. It comes up to a taxable income number, which is a blend of
you're
everything.
39.
Yeah.
And then you end up paying 3,900.
Yeah.
Okay, not bad.
Well, it's
at age of.
I pay a lot of money.
At age of what?
I have no idea.
Age of 66.
Whatever. Oh yeah, right.
You can do so, right?
Yes, right.
Okay, very good. All right. So you end up making more or less?
Well, you end up making more, of course, if you're working and earning more money. So, because also if you get dividends, if you get any other investment income, maybe rental income or something, it all goes up.
They're all taxable.
It all comes to something called taxable income, and that's then what the rates are applied to.
Okay, very good. Okay, my dear friends, with my friend Ken Hamming, we are talking about tax cut. This tax cut thing, when it started talking, people started talking. Oh, by the way, to be honest, when they started talking, it was worse. It looked worse than what it is now.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Okay. And after all, it turns out something better than what we thought. And I believe if we want to look at it, well, probably like me in my case, you'll get a better understanding about it. And if you really actually do some numbers, you will still see that probably will work.
Right.
After all, the key point is that if you want to call a smaller government, though, the best way to do is to cut from the money side. Right?
It is.
To make sure that here's the money.
Less available, balance.
Thank you very much. And also now we're talking about the House version and the Senate version. They are being reconsolidated.
Yes, sir.
And then we'll see after the reconsolidation, we see how would that work out, right? Okay, now thank you very much with my friends. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Jack.
To Ken, thank you very much. And I caught a very, very bad cold.
Yeah.
I'm on painkiller, on antibiotics, everything. That's how you still see me a whole piece.
Yeah.
Right? So, all right. in front of my audience.
You're
I'm
a
always-
warrior. You're a tough
thank
warrior.
you. In front of my audience, I'm still hold peace.
You're a warrior.
I'm always.
Thank you.
Thank you.